Welcome back to Star Spangled Gamblers. I guess this is our third emergency podcast that we've done in the last week. So, Pratik, let's say why it's an emergency podcast, which is President Trump has the coronavirus. A lot of you out there are shocked that it's taken 6 months for him to get the coronavirus. Apparently, like half of the Republican Party also has it. So, whoever those like Lincoln Project rhinos were who said Trump would be the death of the Republican Party in like a very unironic way, maybe they're right. It's kind of a creepy, scary situation. This is happening on the eve of an election. It's also happening while Cocaine Mitch McConnell is trying to put Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court. So a lot of things are happening. Third emergency podcast in a week. Maybe we need to like change our definition of what an emergency is. Like I don't know, Pratik, is that like the new reality?
Well, isn't this how cable news began? It went from emergency to everyday. But yeah, no, I mean, I can't remember a time where my predicted account has been as volatile as it's been, with the exception of an election night.
So if you see my eyes wandering around, we're doing this sort of semi-live, pseudo-live. We're experimenting with a call-in show, which we got a little bit of taste of a few Modelo's deep the other night. So I'm going to have some of the boys come on and just spit some questions at us. Pratik, when you talk about wanting or having a great deal of volatility in your account, are you talking about the obvious things? Or are you like even in like weird positions that aren't supposed to roll over for months on some dumb gubernatorial rate? Like, is the volatility everywhere?
Well, I think the reason why it's so volatile is because if you look at the recent events that have happened, they're basically events that correlate with a lot of different markets. So the obvious issue is Trump having coronavirus. I mean, that affects everything from presidential markets to the Supreme Court to everything down ballot. And so I think that's what's going on in large part.
Are people just, I don't know, there's just more money on Predictor right now on the eve of an election too. Like people, I feel like people when they gamble are the same as people when they are like reacting to anything. Like they just want to see a story and some things that like maybe there's not as much of a story for. Like I don't really know. I'm hopeful that like no one will die. That would be a great thing if that was the outcome. But like I don't really know that anything's gonna change. Oh, we got the first of the boys wanting to join. I told you this is call-in night. This is call-in night. Hold on, let's see what it's Sean. Pratik, do you know Sean?
SG forecaster or whatever.
Could be. This is it's like a Pandora's box that we voted. Oh shit. Oh,
probably him.
Could be. It's whoever it is on mute. There's definitely like a drum roll going on right now over this Zoom call. Anyway,
how come they all mute themselves? It must be an automatic.
I think it is like an automatic feature, and joining ship by mobile is kind of its own thing too.
Sean, you're on mute if you're on.
Yes.
Oh, there you are.
Sorry, I had some issues setting up the audio.
Announce yourself. Who are you?
Hey, this is I'm Sean. I'm SK Forecasting on Twitter. I am Pratik's #1 fan. It's not even close. If anyone has any reservations about that, you can meet me in front of the Predictor building and we will duel it out. And my question for you guys is about the market, which has swung quite a bit. How many yay votes will ACB receive in a confirmation vote by January 19th? You can buy no's on 49 or fewer for only 80 cents right now, which to me seems really low, but I'm wondering your guys' take on that.
Hold on. Before we answer that,
Pratik,
we need to get you like a sneaker deal at Nike or something like that so we can sell them to Sean.
Yeah. No one else would need to buy them. I would buy them all.
Sean, like before we get into the price that people should be paying for Coney Barrett not being seated on the bench, maybe you could tell us the price you'd be willing to pay for like a branded Pratik Chugli jersey.
Oh my gosh. It's such a large number that I think people would probably laugh me out of this space if I said it. So I should probably keep that tight to the chest.
All right, PJ, let me rephrase Sean's question because I like to go from general to specific. do you think that the fact that Trump has coronavirus and I guess 3 GOP senators now do too, like, I'm not really quite sure that actually changes anything. In fact, I'm thinking about selling my positions that are pumping right now on a lame duck confirmation. What about you?
Yeah, the way I'm viewing this market with the Supreme Court confirmation is that we're basically going through different phases. So part of the reason I felt confident placing contrarian bets in the timing market is because I just figured something would happen between now and the time that the confirmation hearings are actually to begin.
Yeah.
Now, I think that I agree with you. I think that for now, it looks like McConnell has the votes, and I don't think there's too much doubt about whether Barrett will get in. I think it's simply a question of when. And so the question that I'm thinking about is what could go wrong or what could go off track. And I guess I think the big one is Donald Trump dying or resigning from
I can't believe we could
presidency.
just say that so cavalierly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if Trump decides to resign, not be a presidential candidate, or just simply die, I think that that puts Republicans in a pretty awkward position now where they're claiming they have a mandate for the Supreme Court pick, but now the guy's not even president. So,
Okay, so let's talk about price here, though. Like, I get what you're saying. We've talked about that on this podcast before. So right now, before November 3rd, has dropped from 69 cents to 55 cents. At the same time, a lame duck confirmation before the first of the year is up 50%, or no, it's up 50% from where I bet it. It's up to 36 cents. What's the difference? Like, if the Senate's going to quarantine for 2 weeks, what's the difference? Like, what's a couple days? Like, they're going to find a way to do this one way or another. I kind of feel like this might be a good time to buy yes on it before the election Supreme Court pick. I mean, do you guys agree with me? Sean, feel free to chirp.
Yeah. So Sean, are you asking about the timing or the number of votes here?
I was talking specifically about the number of votes. That one seems a little clearer to me. I'm a little less clear on how the stages of the hearings actually go, but I would definitely be curious what you guys think on that.
Okay, so
I think it's
Alex,
too soon. That's how
yeah,
I feel.
I mean, I think I'm taking somewhat of a contrarian position in the number of vote market. I think that the 49 or fewer is basically a proxy for whether or not Barrett gets through. So that could be basically a Trump dying scenario. It could be some kind of scandal or dirt happening on Coney Barrett. It could be just the calendar not working out. I'm not in this market yet, but I think that 20% may be high here. So I think there's an argument maybe to buy no at 80% here.
I just think it's too soon to me. It's just like too soon. There's too many like senators who might start wetting their bed and flip flopping from a yes to a no with those squishy, Rob Portman, Mitt Romney statements about considering the candidates on their merits, and maybe John Cornyn seeing some shitty polls. Pratik, you've been good about saying that. I just think it's too soon. I'm not looking to flip shares in this marketplace. Like, I'm looking to be right. And I think it's just too soon for me to be right about this. Sean, it's sort of a fucking flaccid answer to your question, but that's where I am.
Okay, so I think that if you accept Alex's theory that it's too early to really draw firm conclusions, maybe that's an argument for buying no at the market rate in 51, because I think right now it's trading at 47%, and I think that basically the traders here are assuming a straight line party vote with everyone voting. And so you can see why a lot would go wrong here, or even if there are things in the news cycle, there may be opportunities to flip shares there. I was doing that the last few days. I currently don't have anything there. Where I actually did place a bet, and Alex and Sean, you should tell me if you agree. I actually bought 2% shares in 54. And my rationale here is basically that I think now that the situation with Trump has happened with coronavirus, the fact that the Roe v. Wade survey thing, I don't know if you guys followed that, that leaked, that Coney Barrett signed on to some kind of a letter criticizing Roe. So we've now had enough like bad events happen, and my guess is that if Coney Barrett comes up for, like, the hearings actually begin, she performs well, and it seems like McConnell has the votes. I wonder if 54 will go from 2 to maybe like 4 or 5.
I think that can flex in either direction. But we got 2 more sets of the boys in the waiting room to ask some questions on this. So Sean, love this question. I think we're going to probably do some blogs about it. We're probably going to follow up on it, but we're going to pivot to the next one. But Pratik, I agree with you completely that there's a plus or minus 2 or 3 senators that could go either way from that, or maybe more than 2 or 3 senators from the 50 line. And that's like, I just haven't been playing it because I can't tell where that flex point is going to be yet. Sean, when we get that sneaker deal, you're going to be the first one to get them. Okay.
I better be. I'll be very angry if I'm not.
You'll be taken care of. We always take care of the boys.
All right, great.
Next we got, it says Kyle. Kyle, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Keeney, can you hear me? Keen dog.
Yeah, we can hear you. Who are you? Where
there
are
we go.
you?
I am at my girlfriend, Dr. Atlee Malilla's house for her father's birthday
party. Are you
party.
supposed to be like bandying about your girlfriend's name on a podcast about political gambling?
Sure.
Well, we just had a doctor on this podcast recently. Kyle, why are you here? What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about New Hampshire. I think New Hampshire is free money on Predictor.com.
Hold on. I'm going on Predictor.com right now. What's up with New Hampshire? Are the kind of New England? We've got a New Englander Pratik here on the call. You think that's just game over?
Yeah, Pratik, I'm a big fan. I follow all you guys on Twitter. You guys are wonderful.
Thank you.
So last time I saw it was at 71 cents. And
it's now up to 76 for the Democrats. But yeah.
Still, I mean, when you look at like some of the arbitrage opportunities on there, states that have a very good feel will go in one direction. I think I still put New Hampshire in that bucket. I mean, you guys are the experts here, as the gambling degenerate with that doesn't study this every day. I kind of, an overarching thesis I have for this election is that Biden's going to outperform Hillary in almost every state. It's hard for me to look at some of these states where, it was less than a percentage point and not see that Biden's going to do better for a number of reasons. And New Hampshire is a state.
There's like a popular rap on this that just by not having a third party candidate that's even remotely relevant, that some of these states that turned on, 1% or 20,000 votes are just non-starters for Trump this time.
Yeah.
I was
going to say exactly. I mean, Hillary won New Hampshire by 0.4%, and New Hampshire is a very third-party heavy state. As somebody that leans libertarian, I think the libertarian candidate is far weaker this year than in 2016.
I think it's just like a human meme account. Isn't that what Joe Jorgensen is?
I mean, it's just hard to compete with a popular former governor of their state. With Joe Jorgensen. And then, I think there's also an element of
Trump. Was Joe Jorgensen the governor of New Hampshire?
No. Gary Johnson was governor of New Mexico.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So Kyle, and then Pratik, you can say something smart, but like, were you still buying this at 77 cents for a Democratic win?
You ask me or Pratik?
I don't know, either of you. I mean, like, I feel like Dem prices are going to be at a peak pretty soon with all these Republicans being hospitalized. So but I don't know if they'll come back down, so are you still buying?
I am. It seems like free money. The third party candidates aren't hard. I think there's also an element of Trump I think people thought Trump could be more libertarian than he ended up being, which I think is going to turn off a lot of that vote. I think it's hard to see. For me, it's hard to see a scenario that New Hampshire goes Republican.
Yeah, he's definitely gone more the way of like an 80s Democrat than like a Ron Paul Republican, complete with the like sort of pseudo-racist stuff too. PJ, you want to take the rock?
I think Kyle actually raises a number of good points. I mean, first of all, I totally agree. I think buy Democrats in New Hampshire. I think that we're looking at a landslide election, but even if we're not, for Trump to be able to build on what he did in 2016 would be very difficult. I also wanted to comment on this notion about New Hampshire as a libertarian place. It's interesting to me that maybe people are betting on Trump for that reason, but the libertarian reputation or image of New Hampshire, I think, is very much becoming a thing of the past, simply by virtue of how a lot of this Boston traffic is more and more moving into New Hampshire and urbanizing and gentrifying the place.
In North Carolina.
Yeah, and
that's another conversation, though.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the dilemma, right, that Republicans are facing across the board, that the minute any place becomes urbanized or educated or sophisticated anyway, it just becomes a Democrat. That's a real problem for the party. I don't think they're going to solve it in the next month.
I think this is like one of the best, like most bright and beautiful things in politics. And I'm sorry, I'm going to get away from betting for a second here, but people complain about politics being like calcified and broken, and I vote for Republicans and like everything's going against us and whatever. But the fact that the country does rebalance like this, you know, that like people move out of overpriced cities in California, New York, and Boston, and they go to these other places and like politics. Oh my God, is that the face of the boys? We can see Kyle's face right now.
I didn't realize I wasn't on video. I apologize.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know, crank. It's not a Modelo though.
No, I'm sorry. It's
Spotlight
Sam
you.
Adams.
Oh, wow. So you really are betting on Dems in New Hampshire, aren't you?
All in.
Well, I like the play, Pratik. I'm just a little hesitant to bet on anything right now with you know, the way prices are probably going to be peaking for Democrats for at least a little bit. Am I crazy?
I actually don't think we're anywhere near the peak right now. I think things are only going to get worse for Republicans. So
oh shit.
I think this is a good buy.
Bye. Just like NSYNC said.
Kyle, are you from New Hampshire, or do you have?
Nope.
I was going to ask you about. Okay, I was going to ask you about.
I'm from
New
Philadelphia.
Hampshire. Okay.
Yeah, remember a time when Philadelphia was the barometer for the country? Like that seems like forever ago now.
Philadelphia may not be, but Pennsylvania maybe.
Could be. There's some interesting races shaping up there. Kyle, we got some of the boys in the waiting room, so we're going to kiss you goodnight and move on, but I'm going to buy a couple shares of Dems in New Hampshire in solidarity, all right?
Hey, it was an honor and a pleasure. Thank you.
All right. See you, dude. All right. We got all bets. Coming on.
I always read that as AI bets.
Oh, really?
Well,
we can ask
Al. Yeah.
Who is that?
It's AI bets.
AI
The
bets.
best.
AI.
Yes. Yeah. What's up?
Who are you?
Uh,
Are you the same person as Obama at Oracle? Because you guys are always kind of finger blasting each other on Twitter.
that's a popular theory, but no, I'm not. But can I make a statement first?
Yeah.
All
Speak your
right.
truth.
So, on behalf of Cat Clan, I would like to formally apologize for Obama Oracle's horrible performance last podcast.
Yeah.
He's not representative of the Cat Clan. Yeah.
I know what the Cat Clan is.
Yeah, you got to take that a step back, man. What the is a Cat Clan?
It's kind of like the cable, except for like the new cable. So like we actually are good now, unlike the cable who just gets PTFO at every market now. So yeah.
Wait, okay. This is an inside baseball conversation, so we're gonna have it for a second, and then we're gonna get back to what this podcast is about. First of all, cabal is pronounced cabal. Second of all, when you were describing,
that's your opinion, but okay.
When you're describing high-level predicted traders who you despise, let's just get like the WWE shit out of the out in the open here. Who are you describing?
Mainly Armenian bacon.
Armenian chicken.
Yeah. Mainly him. Yeah. Doma. That kind of crew right there.
The old guard.
Just like the wannabe kind of elitist crew on Twitter and predicted comments.
Basically like the predicted version of those idiots on like YouTube and Instagram who rent a Maserati and then try and sell you like a $10,000 class on how you can own a Maserati, but they're really just, dumbasses running an apartment in Hollywood or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
So why are you on this podcast right now? Yeah, AI. Do you want to address any pressing issue?
I want to ask you guys, who do you guys think the best traders are on Predicted?
I was just writing a blog about this because I feel like there are a lot of new people coming on and they want to know who they can trust. So it just depends on like what we're talking about. Like what in your mind are we talking about right now?
Like best return. Who's going to make you the most money? Who's going to give you the best advice? Make you the most money.
It's someone who knows elections because the vast majority of Predict's markets are elections, So
Well, that's part of the reason why I don't like the tweet markets, because they kind of distort the leaderboard.
So,
I think
whoa. Okay,
yeah.
can I just interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
So, like, is that taking a shot at me?
Yes.
And Obama Oracle.
Yeah, you guys are fake news.
Okay, continue.
I don't think Obama Oracle's made money on a bet since tweet markets ended. I think he just shit posts and takes terrible positions for the show of it.
No, but would you agree with that? I mean, leaving aside the question of whether or not tweet markets are worthwhile, I think if you're trying to measure someone's skill as a political gambler, I don't know that tweet markets are the right barometer.
I'd agree with that.
I think, listen, okay, I've got a hierarchy in my mind. I think everyone loves to hate him. I think if there's a market that you can model, it's going to be pretty hard for you to tell me that Rainbow Jeremy isn't the best trader in that market. Sharko Rubio, I think, is at the same level, but he's hilarious because, like, the most classic Sharko thing in the world is to spend 2 months tweeting about how some retard idiot Bernie bro who has like 3 supporters is going to win an election. But Sharko always flips to the winning side the day before when he realizes that like his Bernie bro dream is not going to come true. But you have to be like aware, because all these traders have their quirks about, what they do, and some of them lie on some platforms and tell the truth. I don't know. It's so weird. Who's your favorite AI?
I have a hot take. I think Bernie Math PhD is the best trader on the website.
People keep telling me that we need to have him on this podcast, but I'm sort of a lazy bum.
No, you got to get him on.
Are you simping for him?
I simp hard for Bernie Math, like very hard.
Is he part of the Cat Clan?
We're in the process of signing the contract, but as of now, no.
All right. Well, can you maybe tell me who else we can look out for in the Cat Clan? I mean, apparently this is a big deal.
Pickle Rick 69 is an up and comer. You might see him floating around Twitter.
Who is that?
Just look him up on Twitter.
No, I missed the name.
Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick 69.
Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick.
He's an up and comer, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna be seeing him flying up the leaderboards coming up very soon, but that's kind of our little mini squad right now.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that at least one of you is sober occasionally. I feel like Obama Oracle like ripped through a fucking case of natties before he came on the pod the other day. So
totally unprofessional. It won't happen again. Don't worry.
I know it should be Adderall or cocaine. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I do want to. I think it's one thing I wanted to get into is what is the definition of a good trader, and I actually think that it's kind of hard to define in the sense that there are certainly bad traders. I mean, people who are losing money, but I think that a lot of this depends on what your risk tolerance is and what you actually want to get out of Predictor. So I think if your goal is to get the highest possible return, that's different from getting a very reliable, steady rate of return, which is different from getting a high return with minimal work where you just put in a bunch of money, don't even think about it for a year and then come back. And so I think a lot of different trading strategies and so forth can all be counted in the different metrics.
So do you know who you just described to me though? You just described 2 people. You described Jason Pipkin. You described Jipkin on like creating steady, predictable returns. Like I feel like no one's better at doing high volume, repeatable marginal trades than Jipkin. He's a genius at that. Squeezing 3 cents out of 10,000 shares a day and then doing it again and again. But the second person that you just described, Pratik, is you. You're the one who you're the best at seeing shit way out over the horizon, holding positions that are underwater for months and then just making a killing at the end. So give yourself a pat on the back, dude.
I think the most underrated part of trading is just the short swings, getting a few cents at a time, doing intraday trades. I think that's the most underrated part. That's how I've made most of my money. Because really, if I'm to be honest, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing most of the time for margin markets, but it's all about just reading how people are going to think and just making short-term trades based on that.
Yeah, to me, if I were to come up with a definition of the best trader, I think it would be people who have a very good command of what will ultimately happen, also a very good command of what the short-term swings are. and then expertise across a wide array of different markets. I think maybe the name that comes to mind, although I don't know him too well, is maybe Derek Phillips, someone like that.
I was gonna go
Fusion of
Domer.
all three. Yeah, maybe Domer as well.
No, not
But
Domer, no. But okay.
No happiness allowed. Well, AI. That's what we're gonna call you, AI of the Cat Clan. We got some more of the boys waiting. So I'm throwing you out, dude.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, come back another time.
All right. Armenian bacon, worst shirt on the website. All right. Have a good night.
All right, bye. All right, we've got this individual appears to be named Jake. Jake, can you hear us? Oh, maybe not yet. You think we're ready for live broadcast yet, Pratik?
it's going well so far.
Jake, are you out there? Hello. Hello.
Oh,
Oh.
Sorry.
Hey,
There
we
he
can
is.
hear you.
It was quiet. I couldn't hear anything.
You got to bring that mic closer to your mouth, dude.
Okay. Is this
Yeah.
good?
No,
Awesome.
louder.
Louder?
Yeah.
All right.
This is
All right.
dude, this is for alphas.
much louder. Yeah.
Yeah. Be an alpha, man.
Yeah, let me get my I forget what they call it, but the thing that controls the gain. I'll put it up.
Yeah, you just got to hold that mic close to your face and speak like you're not on a packed subway train. Jake, who are you?
So I'm a software engineer from I live in Washington and Seattle. Yeah, so I do data science, I build websites, I've done robotics. I like to bet on Predictor.
Oh, you're
yeah.
Grande.
Yes.
This is so you are better known as Grande Rojo. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, can we call you that, or do we have to call you Jake?
You can call me Grande Rojo.
Yeah,
It's been my
like
name
let's
on
go
the
by your
internet
stage
for,
name.
yeah. Awesome.
Is that what your mom calls you?
No, it's what my friends called me in high school. I'm from Florida, so I had a lot of Spanish friends. So
Do you also have red hair? Are you a ginger?
yes. Yeah, I'm like
Got
a big ginger. So
Okay. Well, you're very lucky for a ginger, or maybe you're very smart because you're unlucky because you're a ginger.
yeah, I'm just the soulless better of politics. So
No. Well, this is all about soul, dude. So what's
Yeah.
up? What's on your mind? Everyone's got coronavirus. Like, what the fuck?
yeah, so everyone's got coronavirus. You know, Predicted is going crazy. It's nuts. I think Ron Johnson just got
Yeah.
coronavirus. Yeah. So it's been kind of crazy. I'm really up right now, so it's been a really fun time.
So I think you were chirping me over DMs. I think about Texas and Ohio.
Yeah.
What's up with that, dude?
Yeah, so Texas and Ohio right now, you can just bet yes, I think, across the board and have really good negative risk opportunity. Like you're kind of guaranteed to make money if you bet yes. Yeah.
Well,
Aside from that, yeah.
you're the smart guy with like the data science stuff, but you tell me this. So I have a position. I've got like the total wipeout position, which is I think Democrats by 280 plus electoral votes. And I wish I had the price in front of me. I mean, it's less than 10 cents, whatever I paid for it. But it's hard to imagine a situation where the Democrats could win by a margin that big without winning Texas and Ohio. Am I crazy?
No, I would say so. I think Texas would be much more valuable than Ohio. They could win without Ohio if they won Texas, but yeah, I would need to look at the numbers too. I don't know exactly.
I guess my question to you is it cheaper just to buy Dems by 280 plus for 10, 15 cents than to try and guess the right winner in some of these states that might be a little dicey?
Well, I mean, Texas right now is, I think Biden or Trump is currently at 72 cents. Right. So, I really think he's overpriced at that. Like I don't have like a, I would say that's more of a 52, 48 market, right? If you look at polling, you know, it's been really, really close, like a lot closer than I think PI currently has it when you look at the polling. So I don't know. I would need to look at it closer to make a judgment on that, but I don't know. I think those two markets are really good.
Are you involved in the Senate race there?
Yes. Yeah, I have a little bit of position in both of those.
Are you
I
on
think
Team
that
John Cornyn or Team Blue Texas?
I'm on Team Cornyn right now. I think the Senate race is much more likely to be to go Republican than Democrat. But
Do you think he's going to crap his pants over some of the shitty polls that are inevitably coming?
yeah, I don't think the I don't think the coronavirus stuff is going to help them. I think if you look at the governor in Texas, he's doing really bad right now due to coronavirus. And I think everything that's happening with Trump is just going to make it worse. Yeah.
So what's the like other side of this conversation though, which is so I don't know if you guys, if you don't get our weekly newsletter on Star Spangled Gamblers, you should. We hand out some content a little bit early on to our newsletter people, but we've got this correspondent named Dragon Poopsie, and she was yeah, that's her name, Dragon Poopsie, and she was writing about like how masochistically awful it was to watch Donald Trump in the last debate, and people shit on me for saying this, but is there a world where having Trump muzzled for a week or two in a hospital like might be kind of good for Republicans? Because like how much worse could this election possibly be than it is right now? Pratik, I feel like you're going to have something very opinionated to say about this.
I think the problem is just the total absence of a coherent message. I mean, I think, imagine like a different scenario in coronavirus where things get better and better. The economy is beginning to come back, and then Trump can say, I told you the public health people were overreacting. We figured out how to open safely. And people like Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis could have been the hero of the story. I mean, this is a complete disaster for not only Trump, but these Republican senators to be getting coronavirus. I mean, what are they going to, what message do they have that they can possibly rally people with? I'll tell you how I'm trading Texas, and you can tell me if you agree or not. So there are a couple markets here. Number one, I think in terms of which party will win Texas in 2020, I think the Democrats are way underpriced here. I currently have a bunch of shares, Republican no at 27%, and I'm going to hold that one. I think that should get into the 40s at a minimum. I think the Texas Senate race, I was buying Democrats when they were in the low to mid teens, and I cashed out most of my shares once it hit the 20s. My thought here basically is that as the Coney Barrett thing proceeds, and as we get closer to the general election, the Democratic candidate here may have a money advantage, which might move the polls closer. I just don't know how much I want to pay right now, so I'm kind of treading carefully there right now. Where I am willing to put money though is if you look in the market in the Senate race with the smallest margin, there I think Texas is very underpriced. Right now you can get that at 4%. So I definitely want to get that one. I think that could move in the right direction.
How do you feel about this though? Because I think we have a lot of heartburn from Brett Kavanaugh and boofing beers and like, are you like kind of rapey, Mr. Judge? Is there a scenario where people are going to really like Amy Coney Barrett and because they really like her? Like I feel like there's a lot of emphasis on how negative the Supreme Court confirmation process is going to be. And I think we should at least entertain the thought that like it'll actually go over well.
So
I've been
I mean,
really,
yeah.
yeah, go on.
No, go ahead.
So I've been in the when the SCOTUS confirmation voting timing will go. I've been in that market for a while, and I bet pretty heavily against the first bracket, which was before November 3rd. And I'm definitely very confident that that bracket is not going to happen, just from reading the reporting that CNN and Fox News was doing even before the coronavirus stuff happened. They were reporting that it was going to be up until like the last week in October when a vote would actually happen. So that was right on the cusp of that bracket not happening. And now you have coronavirus, you have the way that they did their party, like all of that stuff, like that stuff's going to be in the news. And I just don't think that's going to happen. So I think that market is currently really mispriced.
It's sort of funny because we were just talking about this with someone else before, and I was really very much on the same side as you. But I'm thinking about buying into the, as the price just plummets on a confirmation before the election. Like it's starting to get to the point where the price is right to me because, at the end of the day, if the Republicans have the votes, like they can do this whenever they want to. It's just a question of whether they do it in a way that's, where they've damage controlled for the consequences.
So your question about her personality, right? I think the fact that she does have 7 kids and she is a woman and there's a lot of positives that are going for her that was not going for Kavanaugh, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably good that they saved her for this confirmation.
Yeah.
But
the Infinity Stone, Amy Coney Barrett.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just everything else that's, a lot of things have to go right for Republicans for that bracket to happen. So I'm very confident in the second bracket for that market, which is November 3rd to January 2nd, and then the last bracket, which is January 20th or later. Those two are pretty good. I think it's next to zero likelihood that it would happen from January 3rd to January 19th. So.
Yeah, that's the one bracket that doesn't budge, which is really interesting to me because I've got some like 3-cent shares in that bracket, and I'm like, come on, like can't we like panic enough and make those pump? Why can't we? Can we get it to like 6 or 7? Like let's go.
That's like my Kennedy shares in Massachusetts. I was just hoping for them to come back up, and they never did. So.
Should have read Star Spangled Gamblers, bro.
Yeah.
But here's the, I mean, to answer,
put a bow on this, Pratik.
Yeah. Well, okay, 2 points. I mean, number one, on the question of whether or not Coney Barrett could overperform, we talked a little bit with the last caller. I actually do think she's going to perform well in her confirmation hearings. I think the markets tend to underestimate how well prepared, how intelligent these people are, etc. The problem is that there's no outcome. It doesn't matter how well she performs that doesn't unleash a massive national debate on abortion. And I think that reason alone is why there's going to be huge amounts of money and pressure pouring in to pressure Cornyn and Joni Ernst and others. So that's why I'm buying at 2% the 54 vote margin, but it's also why I think Cornyn and Ernst are going to be dealing with a major ad buy, opposition attacks, and so forth, which is also why I think that Blue Texas is underpriced just because of the amount of money Democrats are going to pour in. So I was just going to conclude on the Texas. The other area where you can buy that is which state will be won by the smallest margin. Right now it's at Texas is at 10%, which is relatively high compared to where it's been. However, right now, Florida is trading at 13%, North Carolina at 11%. I think if you agree with me that
I think
Biden,
those are trash.
Yeah, I think if you agree with me that Biden is on track for a higher or for a landslide win, then I think both of those are too.
Yeah, there's got to be a shocker coming out there. Like I you could say it scientifically, guys. You guys are smart. But there's a shocker coming, and it's not going to be North Carolina or Florida. It's going to be some other place that people's jaw is going to drop. It's going to be like in 2016 when Todd Young, I remember early in that election when Todd Young just blew out Evan Bayh in Indiana. And like everyone who knew what was going, like eyes just like opened wide. It was like, holy shit, this is going to be a brutal night for Democrats. There's going to be something like that here, and it's not going to be in North Carolina or Florida, in my opinion. And I'll just bet however Pratik tells me to.
Jake, are you in that market with the smallest margin of victory?
Yeah, so I stayed out of that market just because, I tried to go through how the votes would go, and I can't rationally think through who would vote for who. There's a lot of Republicans that I think could be in a lot of problems in 2022 if they end up voting for the confirmation. And then aside from that, but then it's such a big deal, right? It's such a big deal for for Republicans if they actually get someone on the court for the next 40 years, that it may not matter, right? So I think there's too much uncertainty. The reason why I dug so deep into the other market, the timing market, is that I was kind of betting on uncertainty, right? I was betting that they just wouldn't be able to get it done because something would come up, and then something really big came up, right? So, and I also think just the, I don't really like how the pricing is for some of the things I would vote for, right? I just think it's a little too high. I think 51 makes the most sense, and I think it's a little too high right now for me to to bet in. So that's where I'm. Yeah.
I'm on Twitter right now, and I'm looking at a billboard right now, and it says it's in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, which is Pratik. I bet you don't know where Tuscaloosa, Alabama is. It's where the University of Alabama football team plays.
Yes.
And it says, "Remember the quitter," and it's got a huge face of Tommy Tuberville, former coach of Auburn University, arch rival of Alabama. Tommy Tuberville, welcome back to Bryant-Denny. Remember the quitter, and it just shows him just suffering this humiliating defeat to Alabama.
Yeah.
What's up with Doug Jones, man? I'm glad we're finally trolling this candidate over his football record, but is this election getting messed up enough that maybe my free money play on Doug Jones losing is that even going to get a little dicey?
So I had some shares in Doug Jones. I had them, I think, I had an average around 12. And then 538 put out their model, and they said he had about a 30% chance to win. So I think I might hold those shares, but it's really hard to vote for a Democrat in Alabama. I just look at the polling, and I don't feel good about it. But yeah, I could see a lot of Alabama voters. I'm from that area, kind of from the Panhandle. So
Yeah.
I saw a lot of Auburn and Alabama fans growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think it's good if you get it under 20 for Doug Jones, but I think anything higher than that is a little wishful thinking.
I'm on the opposite side of that one. I'm happy to buy the Republicans here in the high 80s. To me, the precedent here is that in 2018 we were also looking at a Democratic wave year, and I mean, you just had the confluence of every possible good thing for the Democrats. I mean, Roy Moore is a total disaster of a candidate. Doug Jones at the time was a good Democrat. I was betting pretty heavily, trying to short Roy Moore, and thankfully I won that bet, but it was close. I mean, I don't remember the exact margin, but I think Jones only beat Moore by fairly, what was it, 2 percentage points or something like that. You'll have to fact check me there, but the point is it wasn't a blowout victory. So I don't think even in a bad year for the Republicans, unless Tuberville really implodes somehow, I don't see it.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Well, Jake, you're gonna have to come back. Oh wait, you're not Jake. You're Grande, or you're Rojo. Maybe you're Grande Rojo, Jake. You'll have to come back and join us again.
Awesome.
Pratik.
I'll come more prepared next time.
I can't see the tent in his pants right now, but I can feel it when he talks. He's fired up about this conversation. Anyway, well, Pratik, why don't we stick around and just put a bow on this little emergency podcast, and then we'll put out a regular podcast with Zoltar later this weekend. But you're the man, Jake. We're gonna make some money because of you. Thank you for making us look good, and find that volume button on your mic, bro.
All right, thank you. See you guys.
See you, dude. Hey, it's just us, man.
Okay. So where are you on the Supreme Court markets? Are any of your positions different after those calls, or?
Right now I only have $28 in cash on Predictor. Like, it's dark, dude.
Where did it all go?
Yeah, into markets. There's just too many. There's too many like free markets that are just gonna perform. So I've got all these huge positions in low margin markets, but like, why not, man? I don't really want to waste time trying to figure out who's gonna win some of these tight states when I can just collect.
Well, I'll throw one more question at you. When we did our emergency call the other day, you mocked me for thinking that Pence may be the Republican nominee for president. Do you continue to think that's out of hand?
I'm not gonna like sit here and like look you in the eye across the internet and like tell you you're a moron, but I guess I kind of already did that. I just like, it's the same thing with Trump. Like, anytime Trump is in the equation, anyone's willing to believe that like the craziest, most like random, strange thing is going to happen because just like Donald Trump is in the room. So I wish I made your bet ages ago at 2 cents that Mike Pence would be the Republican nominee. Like, that was really smart. I'd have a lot more money now if I did. It just seems so outlandish though, dude. Like, do you think Donald Trump's, I mean, we've been over it. Are you holding that bet or did you sell it?
No, so I'm staying out of all the markets related to Trump dying, Pence becoming whatever. I will throw out a minor conspiracy theory here, though, and maybe.
Oh, we might want to save that for Zoltar.
All right, I'll save it.
Wait! Just throw it out. Let's tease it. Okay.
Let's
get the big guy fired up.
All right, here's what I'll say. A lot of people are taking your view that Trump will be back in the game and so forth on the assumption that Trump's getting the best possible medical care at Walter Reed. I actually pretty strongly disagree with that. I think when you're in this government bureaucracy dealing with these conventional doctors, I don't think that you're getting the best treatment. I think that they're giving him, who knows what they're testing on him, who knows what Trump is pressuring them to give him, but he's not getting any kind of holistic care that's actually going to get him back in the game here. So,
are you being like sponsored by some weird interfaith temple and like are you about to go to some yurt and like yell into a vase or like this is just
this
is fake news.
High quality organic moringa tea here. I have a feeling Trump is probably chugging God only knows beers and soda. Right?
He's just like Coca-Cola full sugar. Look, I got to go chug some high quality organic Modelo. It's Saturday night. No one really gives a shit what we're saying anymore because, bro, it's Saturday night. So I got to transition from this emergency podcast to some emergency Modelos. I don't know what you got in store. What do you got in store? You going out with the boys tonight?
Oh, I have work to do.
Oh, yeah. So do I. Guess what I'm going to do? Not do it. All right. This has been fun. Emergency podcast over. See you later.